Hello, welcome to StaffsLive. I'm Stephen Dale.
And I'm Luke Turner, and these are your sports stories.
After a busy night of action in the Premier League last night, Cavan Wilson can tell us more.
Manchester United travelled to Watford in the attempt to chase league leaders Manchester City. Ashley Young opened the scoring with two amazing goals, which was his first in 2 years. The left-back's stunning free kick could be contender for goal of the season. Martial also got on the score sheet with a pass through the middle by Lukaku and was slotted home by the Frenchman. Lukaku later struggled in the match to get on the goal sheet as Aurelio Gomez pulled off a fantastic double save. Richarlison came close as his header struck the bar. The Belgian missed chances again, missing a one-on-one with Watford keeper. Could Mourinho be correct when blaming his boots, or could the Belgian just be out of form? Marcus Rojo gave away a penalty that let Watford back in the game when it was converted by Troy Deeney. Watford continued to fight back when Abdoulaye Doucouré met the cross and stroked the ball into the net. But the scoring wasn't over there as Jesse Lingard wrapped up the game for the Reds. Leicester's Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez proved their brilliance last night. Albrighton's lofted pass was met by Vardy as he put it over the keeper. Spurs looked to fight back, but Schmeichel looked in a fantastic form as he blocked a shot from Sissoko and was kept from going over the line. The Algerian's moment of perfection came shortly after when he cut inside and bended the ball into the far corner. Tottenham kept going when a corner came out and was put back in by Danny Rose, and Kane couldn't convert it. Finally, Spurs got their moment when Harry Kane lashed the ball into the roof of the net. West Brom's Solomon Rondon early shot panicked the Newcastle when his long shot struck the bar. The Baggies fought back hard when Kieran Gibbs' cross was converted by Robson Kanu. Youngster Sam Field got on the end of the cross, which was put them in front. He is the second young goal scorer in West Brom history. Newcastle came out second half looking to get something from the match when Clark converted the corner and an Evans own goal shortly followed to tie the match.
As for the Premier League fixtures tonight, there are 6 games taking place. Our sports reporter Sam Tonks can bring us more.
Stoke will be looking for their first win in 4 games when they host Liverpool this evening at the Bet365 Stadium. Winger Ramadan Sobhi is ruled out after suffering an ankle injury in their loss at Crystal Palace at the weekend, along with Jeff Cameron and Jack Butland. But manager Mark Hughes insists his side must cut out defensive errors.
But clearly the goal shapes everybody's perception of how well or how poorly we did on the day, and as a consequence we need to cut those type of goals out. And I talked after the Brighton game where we did get a point, probably deserved more out of that game as well. I talked after that game about consecutive errors, and we were guilty of them once again.
Leaders Manchester City are aiming for an 18th win in a row at home to Southampton to take their lead back to 8 points at the top of the table. David Moyes goes back to Goodison Park as West Ham manager, hoping to claim his first win in charge, but is without Jose Fonte and James Collins, whilst Everton are set to miss Michael Keane and Leighton Baines through injury. Arsenal face Huddersfield Town at the Emirates, looking to maintain their 100% home record this season. Mesut Ozil, Alex Iwobi and Jack Wilshere are all doubts. Elsewhere, ex-Chelsea coach Paul Clement takes Swansea to Stamford Bridge to take on the Blues, and former Burnley manager Eddie Howe welcomes Sean Dyche's side to the Vitality Stadium.
Managerial news coming out of the Premier League this morning. Luke's on the sofa to tell us more.
Alan Pardew's been confirmed as the new West Bromwich Albion manager. He's signed a 2.5-year contract. I've got Lewis Richards here, StaffsLive correspondent. So Lewis, is Alan Pardew the right man for the job?
I think in the short term, yes, he is. There's been a few questions of whether the contract length is too much. He's been manager of the year on 2 occasions. He's won the FA Cup, and of course he got to the final a few years ago. So in terms, yes, he would be a good appointment.
Obviously, the Baggies faced Crystal Palace on the weekend, Pardew's former club. He was sacked there last year. Do you reckon that'll impact the way he enters this job?
I don't think so. You know, of course he got to the FA Cup final with Palace, so he'll get a good reputation there. So I think they're fairly happy with him. But I think he is the right man for the job overall.
Moving on, Sam Allardyce is set to take over as Everton manager. Can he work his magic there?
I think he can. He's used to some big jobs, you know. We had the problem with England earlier on the year, and everyone knows that he got a 100% win record. Yeah, it was one game, but they played well, and I think he can.
What do you reckon he's got to do, though, to sort of keep Everton away from danger?
I think the board will back him in January 100%. They spent a lot of money, so I think they'll back him, and they have got the team to get up there.
Back to you, Stephen.
England women continued their perfect start to World Cup qualifying as they defeated Kazakhstan 5-0 last night.
Melissa
in
Lawley
Colchester.
gave the Lionesses the
Reporter Adam
lead
Washbrook
inside
has more.
15 minutes with her first goal for the side on her full debut, and substitute Francesca Kirby started the second half brightly as she scored from the spot with her first touch. The Chelsea forward then turned provider for Nikita Paris, who bagged a stunning goal for England coming in off the right-hand side. Paris grabbed a second with 15 minutes remaining, with Kirby providing the vital dummy to set her through on goal. Isabel Christiansen rounded off the scoring only a minute later with a tap-in at the far post. England now sit 1 point behind group leaders Wales with a game in hand.
England will face Australia in the Rugby World Cup final after beating Tonga 2018 following a controversial decision by the referee. Warren Holmes reports.
England have reached the final of the Rugby League World Cup after managing to hold off Tonga in their last 4 matches, thanks to tries from McGilvery, Widdop and Bateman. England last reached the stage in 1995 before losing to New Zealand. Tonga came back into the game as they brought the score back to 2018 before Tongan prop Andrew Fafita lost control of the ball under the pressure of an Elliot Whitehead tackle before regathering and rolling over the try line in the dying seconds. If the decision had gone to the video referee, it could have given the tiny island nation a last gasp win.
We welcome all nations to our country for this World Cup, and we will rise as one.
England last reached the final in 1995 when they were defeated 16-8 by the Kangaroos at Wembley. Prior to that, the home nations competed as Great Britain, who won the competition on 3 occasions, the last of which was in 1972. The Kangaroos have already got the better of England in this tournament when they recorded an 18-4 win in Melbourne last month at the opening game of the tournament. During the semi-final, they beat Fiji 54-6.
Following England's first Test defeat at the weekend and the news of Ben Stokes flying over to New Zealand, we talk all things Ashes with our cricket correspondent.
Joining me in the studio today is our cricket expert Bilal Asif, who is here to talk all things Ashes. Well, Bilal, it's been quite the week in terms of cricketing news, and one big story that's hit the headlines is Ben Stokes and his being pitched in Heathrow.
Yeah, Twitter went crazy for about half an hour last night. Apparently he's gone to see family in New Zealand, where he's born in Christchurch, so he's headed down there. He might play for Canterbury in the 50-over competition, so it makes cricketing sense. He hasn't played in 3 months, so if the police and ECB let him off, you never know.
Is it any surprise that Twitter went as mad as they did for the prospect of Ben Stokes coming back?
Well, after the first test, the second innings, when the England side collapsed, obviously they want someone to fill in. Plus, Walks as an all-rounder was a bit poor, so yeah, everyone wants Stokes in that side.
Is there any chance you think that we might see Ben Stokes before the end of the series?
You never know. That's all I can say.
Another big story to hit the headlines this week is Johnny Bairstow's alleged headbutt.
Yeah, apparently that's how he headbutts all his rugby teammates. That's how he greets them, so as you do.
It's quite a strange story to come out though. Do you think that's just Australian press trying to get on the English backs? Or?
Yeah, they're just blowing it out of proportion, just trying to get under their skins, especially after the loss, so yeah. It's just Australian media.
And obviously we're on to the cricket itself now, a defeat for England in the first test. How did you see the game?
Yeah, it was that third umpire decision. It sometimes goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. That's what changed the game, because the first 3-4 days were even. It was just that second innings collapse that took the game away.
Can we really blame one decision on a whole batting collapse?
Yeah, because if that decision went England's way, they would probably put another 100, 150 on, and you never know what can happen.
That batting order is crucial, isn't it? Australia's top order finished the game off for him and ours fell apart at the last hurdle.
Yeah, apparently Root and Alistair Cook hit 75 runs between them, and Steve Smith and Warner hit 275, and combined they were only out once, so our big ones need to step up.
It was rumoured before the series that it was all down to the batting. The bowling was the strength of both sides, and obviously that's proved to be the case in the Staffs
Yes,
match.
100% definitely. The big players need to step up.
Well, thanks for that, Bilal. It's been nice speaking to you again, and I'm sure we'll see how the next Test match gets on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. In darts, the World Championship draw has been made. There are 3 Stoke-based throwers in the mix. StaffsLive correspondent Nathan Carr brings us more on this story.
Phil the Power Taylor will face Chris Dobie in the first round of the World Darts Championship, which begins next month. The 57-year-old from Burslem is set to retire in the new year and hopes to bow out of professional darts with a 17th world title to his name. Taylor last won the championship 4 years ago, registering a comeback victory over Michael van Gerwen. Standing in his way this time around will be fellow Stokey and 2-time world champion Adrian Lewis. He will go up against the winner of the Alexander Orishkin Kevin Munch match. Ian White, also from Stoke and a 2014 quarter-finalist, will need to get past one of Willard Brugier or Cody Harris if he wants to advance in the tournament. Elsewhere, the best of the other first-round ties include number 2 seed Peter Wright against Diego Portela of Brazil and Raymond van Barneveld against Richard North.
Golf now, and former world number 1 Tiger Woods makes his return to the course tomorrow at the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. Liam Kelsall has more for us.
Tiger Woods.
After being plagued with multiple back injuries in recent years, Tiger Woods is back playing golf, and he believes his most recent operation in April means he can now play without any pain, something he is looking forward to.
The neatest thing for me is to be able to get up out of bed and I can grab a club and not use it as a crutch. Okay? So now I'll be able to take a swing. That's so exciting. You have no idea how exciting that is. And I'm just so thankful that, you know, I've had this procedure and I've gotten to this point.
Woods will compete in the Hero World Challenge tomorrow, and he is eager to prove what he can do.
Let me play this event and see what I can and can't do. I'll have a better understanding once I'm in game speed. I know I've always hit it harder come game time because of adrenaline, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to see how I feel.
Hi, I'm Dan Yates.
And I'm Abigail Johnson, and this is your social media roundup.
After Manchester United's win away at Watford last night, Ashley Young made reference to his controversial goal last Saturday following his fantastic brace during last night's 4-2 victory.
Also in the Premier League, Jamie Vardy expressed his delight after he bagged a stunning goal to sink Spurs 2-1 at the King Power Stadium.
Perhaps the most talked about man before the Ashes began, Ben Stokes has touched down in New Zealand ahead of the second test, but whether he actually competes remains to be seen.
The World Cup draw takes place on Friday and rehearsals are well underway. Pundit Gary Lineker was involved in the proceedings this morning and revealed what would be a massive clash in the opening match of Group A.
In other national news, Lionesses player Alex Scott has played a final football match. The 33-year-old represented her country 140 times during her career and retired from international competition earlier this season.
Tiger Woods is looking forward to his return to competition after undergoing back surgery in April. The American golfer hasn't competed since last February and is back in action in Albany tomorrow.
And finally, would you consider this a shock omission from the BBC Sports Personality of the Year nominations? Many are up in arms over the absence of Jermaine Defoe after his care for terminally ill Bradley Lowry during the 6-year-old's final days.
That's your social media roundup. Now back to the guys in the studio.
Good luck to Staffs Uni graduate Alex Scott in her retirement.
Stoke City host Liverpool tonight in the Premier League with pressure building on under pressure manager Mark Hughes.
But there's been some good news with Peter Crouch signing a new 1-year extension to his contract. He'll be at the Bet365 Stadium until 2018 now. And also the weather tonight, temperatures could hit 0 in Stoke-on-Trent. That's all for today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page. Thanks for watching.